I bought one of these because so many people seem to believe the sky is falling. Actually, something else is falling, and it's almost as consequential. I'm talking about our system of government. It's falling because it's being torn down from within. Our traitor-in-chief desperately wants to be a totalitarian emperor, not a president. He's working as hard as he can, as fast as he can, to destroy our government. He's out to dismantle the accountability, the laws, the institutions, the checks and balances of co-equal branches of government. He's obliterating the work of the Founding Fathers. You know, the Founding Fathers, the ones the right-wingers claim they revere. Were you awake in history class when the teacher talked about them? They are the ancient slave-owning white guys that ultra-conservatives get all trembly and choked up about in political arguments. Every week, another institution or protocol established by the allegedly respected Founding Fathers is being demolished. This demolition is cheered on by democracy-hating right-wingers who are pushing for apartheid in America. As I noted in my first commentary, our nation is already a plutocracy, a nation where the middle can't get a fair shake anymore. That's because the deck is stacked for the super rich. To make matters worse, we're on our way to becoming an autocratic, absolute power dictatorship run by a despot who will probably continue to call himself president for old time's sake. We are being governed by a criminal cult leader like Jim Jones of Jonestown infamy. The poison of our subversive-in-chief is in his deeds and divisive rhetoric, not in tubs of grape Kool-Aid. It's scary, but our national cult leader has millions of brainwashed believers. Steve Hassan is an expert on cults. He's written a book called The Cult of Trump. Listen as he explains what our right-wing cult is plotting and what they plan to do if the grifter-in-chief loses the election.
I follow the media of his base and his supporters, and they're already talking about civil war, and they're already talking about using their automatic rifles that they've been stockpiling. So I don't want to end on a bleak note, but because I am an optimist, but we really need to roll up our sleeves, understand the problem, and start approaching it as if it was a cult and not expecting him and his followers to act normally.
The El Paso Walmart massacre is evidence Hassan is right. This means it's up to centrists and the dwindling legion of principled conservatives to take back our government. The concept of checks and balances requires a sane, educated conservative party. It's needed to counter the free-spending, big government left-wing liberals. But the neo-fascist right has destroyed what we used to call the Republican Party. Conservatives with principles but no party don't like it one bit. Jennifer Rubin is a traditional conservative opinion columnist for the Washington Post. She is alarmed about our cult leader and his followers.
What we should be doing is shunning these people. Shunning, shaming these people is a statement of moral indignation that these people are not fit for polite society. It's not only that Trump has to lose, but that all his enablers have to lose. We have to collectively, in essence, burn down the Republican Party. We have to level them, because if there are survivors, if there are people who weather this storm, they will do it again.
Some high-profile true conservatives have left the Republican Party and condemned the White House flim-flam man. Foreign policy commentator Max Boot is one of them. He saw the disaster before the 2016 election.
I regard Donald Trump as an ignorant demagogue.
George Will has been a nationally recognized conservative voice his entire career. He quit the Republican Party in disgust in 2016. He worries about the task ahead for real Americans.
It doesn't seem to me it's going to be easy to just snap back as though this didn't happen. It happened, and he got away with it, and he became president. And there will be emulators.
There will be emulators. He's talking about similar demagogues who pander to fear and anger. What should we do? The late Thomas Tip O'Neill was the formidable Democratic Speaker of the House during the Reagan years. O'Neill often said, "All politics is local." Let's think about that as we consider how to fight this assault on our government. One effective way to put a stop to this destruction of our nation is to clean house at every level of elected government. Individually, you may not be able to save the Democrats. They seem determined to nominate the next George McGovern and lose in a landslide. They don't understand most of the country is desperate for normal, not radical. Nevertheless, you can work with people on your block, in your neighborhood, in your city, county, or state to defeat any politician on your ballot who has sold his integrity to the criminal in chief. Our national shame in the Oval Office cannot survive without his Kool-Aid drinking base of cult followers. And he can't do anything without the gutless, empty scrotum Republicans in Congress. These are political hacks who violate their oath to uphold the laws and Constitution of the United States every time they say they support him. You don't have to waste your time marching around chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho. In fact, a sustained below-the-radar approach may be more effective. Here's a course of action everyone can follow. Take a little time to identify everyone who might appear on your 2020 ballot who has aligned themselves with our national disgrace, right down to the proverbial dog catcher. That means city council members, county commissioners, whatever. The League of Women Voters doesn't take sides, but they can help you identify who is on your 2020 ballot. You can Google the names on the ballot to find out if they are presidential ass-kissers and bootlickers. Next, start talking with like-minded, sane voters about quietly working to kick these traitors to our nation out of office, whatever office they may hold. Brainstorm how you can do some grassroots work in your community to defeat these lawless political hacks. Think about it. If our dictator wannabe loses his spineless, bootlicking Republicans in Congress, the assault on our Constitution will be disrupted, and you will have had an impact. It's worth remembering many people before us sacrificed a lot to save this country. It would be a shame if their sacrifice was in vain because we couldn't be bothered to get off our asses to save liberty, save freedom, and save the USA.